Hey everyone, get a lot of questions about the drawbridge, like, hey, how'd you make that? What'd you do with the water? Yada, yada, yada. In all honesty, I have no idea what I was doing. I just said, hey, I want a drawbridge, so let's do it. Just to kind of go through a few of the little points here. Obviously, you got to measure the space between it, try to get it as equal as possible. These boards were actually just like pine boards from Lowe's. I think they were $12 each for a 4-foot board. Put those on there, just cut it down lengthwise. And I had, I come back and I put a little 1x4 underneath it so it had something to rest on. Same for both sides. And then this is just a little 1x3. And you have to have your hinge point has to be above the top of the track. If not, the track will pinch on itself when it lifts up. That was the biggest thing. Obviously, this one was, these two here, well, it used to be two. This was when it was just the bridge without the middle part. So I didn't have as much weight. Well, when I added the weight of the both together, I had to get some bigger hinges, to support the weight. The stoppers, obviously, so that it doesn't fall back on your layout. These are actually stairwell, I'm not sure the right word for it, but the handrail for a stairwell handrail mounts. So I guess this would sit on there and the rail would sit on top of it. But it does a great job holding the weight, which isn't too heavy. It was 2 individual bridges, and then we kind of went back and modified it. So, it'd be cool to have some water in here. So we just went under and did a 1x3 underneath it, just kind of around the edge. And the other one's tucked back in there, so you can't really see the edge of it. Kind of hides the edge of the water as well. So we did a 1x3 wrap around it. And then underneath it, it's almost like paneling. It's not paneling per se, but it's that type of board. So it's really, really light, easy to work with, and you can get a 4x8 sheet of it for really, really cheap. Then we went back, put some lights on it, just a little LED light set. I think it was $5 or $6 for it. We used a tablecloth, so it's actually plastic, and just on Amazon, it's just like water print tablecloth. They got all kinds of different ones. I think it was $8, and then 2 little boats from Hobby Lobby, maybe $5, $6 each. And then I'll just lift it up, kind of show you. So it pops right up on here, and see how those handrail holders, they just hold it, no problem. It looks like it's sitting on the train, but it's not. It's right on the edge. Obviously, you got to screw these boats down so they don't fall off. But here's the 1x3 underneath it. And there's your little paneling board. Now I have, my power is, I don't have a transformer, so I have fixed power. So when you do it, just make sure you leave some extra. Because if it's tight, it's going to pull the wire either out of the track or from your transformer or your wall socket if you use fixed power. Yeah, real simple. Put 2 little things. I actually don't even ever use this one. I just use that one, and like I said, it's super, super simple. I thought it was going to be a bigger project than it was. Oop. But yeah, you just look one hand. And see, sometimes it'll just put right down in there. Now, every now and then, our building has settled a little bit here and there. I've had to kind of go back and, if it gets a little bit off or something, you see your engine or a couple cars maybe jumping a little bit. Super easy to fix. You can put a shim underneath it. You can tighten the track down tighter to the board to get it leveled down. But tons of ways you can fix it. But it's just an idea. I don't even know if it's the right way to do it, but it works. And I've had a lot of, been very fortunate with it. So hopefully this give you some ideas. One more thing that's actually kind of important. So with Fast Track, and I wish I would have done this before, but I didn't. So Fast Track, it's not, it's not a exact like 90 degree. They're offset a little bit, kind of like your fingers are here. So what you have to do, you have to take the pin out. So these are not connecting. Obviously, You got to have a little. I did see a few videos where someone put it on a saw with a metal blade and just cut it straight down. That would have been the best way to do it, but because I had never done it before and just kind of did it on my own, I ended up just, the first thing I did, and it worked, so I didn't change it. If I ever do another one, I'll try to go back and make it look, a little bit neater and nicer. Same with all this stuff, but overall, it's definitely served its purpose. But hope you enjoyed it. Have a great night.